Bridge time!
I need you to know that you actually cut out a little bit for me there when you did that, so you must suspect your microphone pretty good.
Oh, it is up there. It's high as a kite.
But are you right now?
No, unfortunately. We got a lot of stuff to get through. I don't have time for this bit. I'm Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And I am Greg, aka Greg.
And welcome to Under the Bridge.
Welcome indeed.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. There's technically 3 movies to talk about in various forms. There's comic news, because New York Comic Con happened. There's gaming news, most of which is sad. There's actor news.
Yeah.
There's strike news. There's all kinds of stuff. DC, Marvel, you name it. Oh, man. We're gonna get... Let's... I didn't even pull up all the stuff. Oh, my God. So, first thing is first. We're gonna start with something sad.
Alrighty.
Let's start with something sad. That's that Keith Giffen is... Giffen, I assume, passed away October 9th, 2023. He is a prolific comic artist and writer. Did a lot of work on some very notable Justice League runs, including the Justice League International series. That was one of the ones that had Blue Beetle and Booster Gold and Guy Gardner in it.
Okay.
He's also the co-creator of, among other characters, Lobo, Rocket Raccoon, and Jaime Reyes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So... tremendous loss.
Yeah, very big loss to the detriment of the comic book world.
Yep. His final Facebook post, though, is amazing.
What was it?
I told him I was sick. Anything not to go to New York Comic Con. Thanks.
Damn.
Keith Giffen, 1952 to 2023. Blah.
Oh.
What a legend.
That's something.
You will be missed, sir, and thank you for your contributions. I've got one more little bit of sad news. This one's, nobody's dead. So,
okay.
it's less sad, but Michael Caine has announced that he plans to retire from acting. Of course, he is also a prolific talent.
Very.
His works include Alfred in the Dark Knight trilogy. I forget the guy's name, but the main guy in the original Italian Job.
Okay.
And also, I think, personally, one of the definitive, possibly ultimate portrayals of Ebenezer Scrooge in film. That being, of course, his knockout performance in The Muppet Christmas Carol. Which sounds like a joke, but it's not.
No, it's not.
That is not a joke.
He's genuinely great in it.
And I don't mean the fact... I don't mean Muppet Christmas Carol being a joke, because, God, that movie is actually old now, and some kids today might not know that. I mean the fact that it's one of the standout performances of Ebenezer Scrooge in the medium of film. Phenomenal.
Very good.
Man plays it like dead serious alongside the Muppets. What an absolute G.
Indeed.
Who's the main guy in the Italian Job? Now I have to figure this out.
I feel like I should know
Charlie
that
Croker, that's it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I feel like I should know that.
I like that movie. I just, I haven't seen it in a minute, and I kind of forgot the names, because after a while you just get caught up in watching guys drive cars around, and...
Fair.
That's a whole thing. We got gaming news.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you brought some of it, right?
Yes, I did. So the 2 main things that I feel like are worth talking about, the first one being just to kind of rip the Band-Aid off of the wound. The Activision Microsoft deal has officially closed. Outside of some legality things, Microsoft at this point officially owns Activision. So, capitalism.
Ugh, what a grim specter looming over us all.
Yeah, so on Forbes, article talking about the buyout, the key things are, the main thing that was holding up the buyout from being finalized was the UK CMA taking longer to fully authorize it. Reportedly, the CMA did give the go-ahead for that deal, and that's what was the main roadblock. So at this point, Microsoft has finalized the $69 billion purchase of Activision Blizzard. I'm glad you appreciate that. Just say nice 69 billion times.
No.
Or 1 billion times, I guess, depending on how you want to make the math work there.
If I get $1 per time I say it, then sure.
You know what? I'm with you there. We can split the costs.
Yeah, I will say nice $69 billion if somebody will pay me $1 per nice.
Right. Right. But yeah, so they now own, amongst other things, Call of Duty, Warcraft, Crash Bandicoot, Tony Hawk, Diablo, Guitar Hero.
Spyro.
Yeah, Spyro. Just a lot of shit they own. I mean, and they already owned a lot of shit. I want to say because of this deal, Microsoft is now squarely, like, I want to say in terms of video games, the third largest video game company on the planet, only beat out by, I believe, Sony and Tencent from China.
You mean Tencent?
Tencent, thank you.
Tencent.
For whatever reason, because I didn't bother to look them up because I'm not in their ecosystem, I forgot the spelling.
Yeah, no, it's Tencent, aka what they pay their employees hourly.
Hey there.
They're coming for you.
Yeah. Of course, the big holdup for it all was what was going to happen with Call of Duty, because all of it was Sony wanting to make sure they got their piece of the pie. I feel like this was as good as done when it was first announced and when it started gaining traction. When they went to court and all that, I was just like, okay, yeah, no, if they're putting all this in it, then knowing how much of a juggernaut Microsoft is, this is probably unfortunately going to go through. So it was just a matter of time. For me, what's going to be very interesting and very worrying is how this all transpires more so on the consumer side of thing. Like, what's going to happen with these IPs and all that. Microsoft has already said, because the big thing was Call of Duty, they have already said that Call of Duty is not going to be locked just to Xbox. It is going to still be multi-platform.
For now.
For now. The for now is what kind of has my attention, as well as all the other various IPs, because, especially since Microsoft, unfortunately does have a habit of buying up major studios, but not doing a lot with most of them. So we'll see what happens there. My cynicism alarm is going like, run, run, run right now. But it's just like, we're not dead just yet.
I'm not looking forward to this.
Fair. Anyone who's like genuinely afraid, that is a fair reaction.
But look, if it gets me Spyro back in some way, shape, or form, then I'm not going to say I'll accept it, but you'll get some points.
Begrudging, not acceptance, but begrudging ceasefire.
You think you can buy me with a wink at some cheap Spyro games? Well, you can. That'll be even funnier later.
Yeah. So yeah, now it's definitely going to be fascinating to see what the future is going to be for Microsoft and Activision and all that. If nothing else, I kind of hope, not so much for the executives, but more so for the people who actually work there as normal-ass people. I hope that there's fewer horror stories of like just the corporate nonsense going on at Activision. I do genuinely hope that Microsoft turns that around.
I'd say less crunch, but let's face it, Microsoft probably isn't helping in that department. But hopefully, maybe a little less workplace harassment?
Yeah, a little less workplace tomfoolery in general.
And also a little less of that shit like, oh, you need to rate a certain percentage of people lower. What if they're not that bad? Well, pick somebody anyway.
Yeah,
no.
Like that's just god-awful.
Right?
The other thing, to kind of contrast all of that, is that Sony has announced the PlayStation 5 Slim. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Slim being relative, I assume.
Yeah.
Because the PS5 is a fucking house.
Yes, it is. It is. There's going to be a new place. Well, they're not calling it the Slim, but it's the fucking PS5 Slim. Actually, we were talking about this at work. Sony's never called any of their systems like Slims or Fats or anything like that. It's always been a community thing. They've just called it PlayStation Insert Console of Choice. I want to say largely because whenever they make the new console, that's the one that they keep on making, which is the case here. The new PlayStation 5 Slim will be coming this November. It will replace the current PS5 in production.
Holy fuck, you're right.
Yeah.
They've never called any of them a Slim.
Yeah, it was kind of mind-blowing when we were talking about it.
Huh.
The new PlayStation 5 Slim is apparently like 30% smaller overall, if I remember correctly, which doesn't really mean a lot, because the PS5 is huge.
It's a goddamn mega router.
Yeah, like, it's like genuinely my biggest complaint is with the PS5 is how big it is. So,
Pretty
unfortunately,
big.
it's one of... Yeah, it's unfortunately one of those things where it's like, I do genuinely want to be excited about that, but I feel like I need to actually see the console in the flesh before actually making a judgment, because the first time I saw a PlayStation 5 in the flesh, I immediately hated it.
Right? It doesn't look that bad from pictures, but once you see it and how much space it takes up, it's just, ugh.
Yeah. No, it's like, it's literally half of like a computer tower almost.
Honestly,
Like,
there are some computer towers that are probably smaller.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Or at least comparable. Maybe not particularly powerful ones, but...
Right, true. So, yeah, the new PlayStation 5 Slim is going to be 30% smaller, or like take up 30% less volume, and will weigh 18 and 24% less. I'm assuming that's 18% less in the previous disc-based one and 24% less in the digital one. All consoles are going to have an actual 1 terabyte memory, so no more of this 825 gigabyte nonsense.
Oh, good, you could hold a whole 2 games.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, pretty much. The big party piece, I guess.
What would I want to put on other than Spider-Man 2? Sorry, continue.
Apparently early reviews of that has started to come out too, if you want to look at that later. But yeah, so the big party piece is that for the all-digital console, that is getting a price increase. So that's going to be $450 now. The disc-based one is still $500. I want to say previously the digital console was $400?
So, they're making the one with less in it because there's no disk drive.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, let me double check this real quick just to make sure I didn't just lie on our podcast.
So they're making it smaller and more expensive.
Yeah.
For having less in it.
Yeah, the current digital PS5 is $400. They've gone to if this was Top Gear in 2008, there would be jokes about they've gone to the Porsche school of like pricing, because with their RS models they weigh less because they have less things like AC and all that. So it's like, so what you do is like make the car weigh less and make it cost more money. But wait, there's more.
Oh no.
Because alongside the new PlayStation 5 system, they have also announced that there will be an optional disk drive that can be installed on the digital PlayStation 5. This disk drive is not compatible with the current digital PlayStation 5, by the way. And that disk drive is going to cost $80.
Can you chuckle fucks do anything right?
Yeah, so if it's a thing of like you go, I want the digital console, and then later down the line it's like, you know what? I do actually like having my games physically and physically owning my video games.
I like the corporations not being able to say at the flip of a switch, you don't actually own this thing that you paid for.
Yeah, if you decide to do that, you have actually spent, assuming you start with a digital system, you have actually spent more than the cost of getting the physical media one.
So you said the disc drive one is still staying at 400?
500.
500. Okay.
Yes. So that one is still at least for now, it's still staying at 500.
So that's only like $30 more than if you got the physical one to begin with, but that's still fucking absolute highway robbery.
Yeah. I mean, it's neat. I don't know. You know what? Honestly, the thing I was most shocked about when I saw this was, because I've always complained, and my coworkers definitely back me up on this, is that my biggest complaint with the system, like I said earlier, is how big it is and how much space it takes up. And I'm like, if they make it smaller, I might be interested in it. And I see this come out, and I read the blog post and all that. I'm like, wow, I'm genuinely shocked how little I care about this. It's apparently also kind of got a weird two-tone finish thing. Like, I want to say like the top part is panels, whatever, are going to be like gloss white, and then the bottom half are matte white, which...
So the PS4.
Yeah, that
was ugly as fuck! Why would you do it again?
Yeah, and I feel like it also just increases the cost of production at that point, too. Why not just make it all the same, like, shade of white?
Jesus.
Or the same finish of white, rather. But yeah. So that is going to be rolling out this November. I want to say the disk drive, which will be sold separately. Okay, I want to say the disk drive is also launching at the same time as the new system.
Just in case you get immediate buyer's remorse.
Yeah, for real. It's like, you have buyer's remorse? Cool, just give us an extra $80.
And we'll take it away.
And we'll take it away from you, kind of. this will be replacing the current PlayStation 5 system as we know it. Like, Sony has said, like, they're no longer producing the launch model. Once those are gone, that's pretty much it.
Huh.
And which was also my reminder that the PlayStation 5 is actually 3 years old at this point.
Jesus.
Yeah, COVID fucked a lot of shit up.
Yep.
So, yeah, those are the two main bits of gaming news. It was announced earlier today that Pete Hines, the publishing director for Bethesda...
Any relation to the guy who makes ketchup?
No.
Okay.
His name ends with an S, not a Z.
Ah.
He will be retiring from Bethesda after 24 years with the company.
So long and thanks for all the fish, I guess.
Yeah, no, like, he is one of the figureheads of Bethesda alongside Todd Howard.
Ah.
They're basically the two most well-known members of the company. So, he's retiring. I feel like there was something else that was kind of a blink and you miss it type of deal, too. Oh, someone just gave me hope.
Oh, no?
That's something that's, like, will probably never happen. Just looking at the news, because there was also a little blurb about Microsoft owning Activision. Someone mentions, like, so, do you think there will ever be, like, a Forza Blur title? And I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't you dare give me hope.
I thought Blur was PS3.
Well, Blur was on PS3 and Xbox, but it was a former Activision IP under Bizarre Creations.
Huh.
It was the last game Bizarre Creations made before they shut down, and they were owned by Activision at the time. For the uninitiated, Blur is Mario Kart with real cars.
It's the only real car racing game I played that I don't hate.
Yeah, it is the best racing game that nobody has ever played, and seeing that just gave me, like, false hope. It's like, no, Don't do that. Don't give me hope.
Alright, settle down, Hawkeye.
Yeah, so at least that's at the very least it for the gaming news that I have brought up.
Yeah, I don't really feel like getting anything else because we're already... Okay, I just realized, if you're not following me on Twitter, you probably have no idea what happened last week. And what happened last week is that my old laptop finally hit its final stages of not wanting to work for me after a number of power issues of just not working when it was plugged in. I thought I finally had it, and then it turns out, no, all my audio got garbled and was cutting out, and was basically unrecoverable. So, since we didn't have time to re-record, I threw my hands up and said, fuck it! I'm replacing this fucking piece of garbage! So I did, and I'm quite happy with the new one.
Your old laptop looked at what was going on with SAG-AFTRA, WAG, and the UAW and was like, you know what, that sounds like a good idea.
I'm on strike too! Alright, well, here's your replacement.
Yeah, for real.
my new laptop is a scab. Comic-Con happened.
Oh, what happened at Comic-Con?
Some stuff. I'm gonna focus on the comic news at this particular point. I only got a little bit of DC news, which is that DC is bringing back its Elseworlds imprint. I don't understand the point.
What is Elseworlds, dare I ask?
Well, Elseworlds is literally just an imprint that they were using for stuff that's not in the main universe. But they were already doing that anyway.
So basically, a comic series just solely focused on the little side stories that aren't enough to, like, have their own comic line.
No, they have their own comic line. It's just, like, things that wouldn't work in the main continuity. So, you know, stuff like Batman Vampire.
Okay.
I don't know if that was actually an Elseworlds title. I'm not sure what the distinction is between Elseworlds and just regular side stories. It's even weirder because, like, they're like, oh, we're bringing it back. At least some of these are continuations of relatively new stories anyway, so I really don't get the purpose. And why are so many of these things fucking Batman? I know why.
Money, 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 money.
Yeah, we're getting a 12-issue sequel to Gotham by Gaslight called Gotham by Gaslight: The Kryptonian Age.
So it's Gotham with an abusive ex? Sorry.
So Batman's assembling the Justice League for the first time, and our heroes learn more about the secret history between Earth and Krypton. Okay. Getting a 6-issue Batman the Barbarian.
Okay. Well, okay.
Reimagines the Caped Crusader as a wandering barbarian in a medieval version of the DCU. Dark Knights of Steel All Winter. The spin-off to Tom Taylor's medieval fantasy series Dark Knights of Steel, which will focus on Deathstroke. It's inspired by Norse myths and it has Deathstroke wandering a frozen wasteland and reluctantly becoming a protector of the innocent instead of a remorseless mercenary. Fuck off with this Deathstroke whitewashing! What the fuck? The man is a fucking child murderer and ephibophile? Is that how you pronounce it?
What's the word?
The dude had a relationship with Tara when she was underage, alright? The man...
yeah.
Fuck!
Is not good.
The man is not a good man.
Are they trying to give him, like, the whole anti-hero spin, at least? Or are they trying to...
They've been doing that for years, and it's infuriating. Deathstroke is awful. He's singularly, voluntarily awful. And I like him that way.
Yeah.
God damn it. Oh, hey, one that's not Batman-related at all.
Okay.
Green Lantern Dark.
I feel like that's a contradictory title.
In an alternate universe where evil has ravaged a sunless Earth, a new Green Lantern has emerged as the only remaining hero, but she goes missing just as humanity needs her most. Okay, so
oh my God.
Is this about Green Lantern or not?
Yeah, it's like, I've got it. Oh, it's Green Lantern.
And she's
dead.
Gone.
And she's fucking dead. Back to our, like, little hidey hole with no sun. We're back to Armored Core 3.
There's Batman Nightfire.
Okay.
Batman harbors a secret so important he would rather allow Gotham to burn down than let the truth be known. DC has hinted that the series also deals with Batman traveling to the past to rewrite his present. Oh, this can only end well.
No, I mean, just the first part of that, that just sounds like the antithesis of Batman. Like, there's no way Batman has some demon that's so dark that it'll just, like... What?
That's why it's in Elseworlds.
Okay, fair. That's just still infuriating to a certain degree, I guess.
Oh, just wait till you hear this next one.
Okay.
DC versus Vampires, World War V.
Fuck off. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, also, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that, I read it as World War V, and I was like, you skipped a couple.
It's like, what happens to the other two?
And then I realized, oh, it's not 5, it's V. It's vampire. It's vampire. Oh, that's good fun.
Yeah, that's well, is good fun really how we want to describe it?
No. Anyways. Not important. Anyway, that's the main DC thing I've got. Is that they're bringing back this imprint, which, okay, cool, I guess.
Fair.
It's the thing you were already doing with a new coat of paint. Actually, it's an old coat of paint, but it's like new Coke at this point.
It's the Nissan GTR.
Yeah, we're bringing back new
lines.
Coke, everybody.
Man, that was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, bring back Crystal Pepsi, you cowards. Anyways, let's go to Marvel.
Alright, what does Marvel have for us?
Well, I got a couple of bigger things. They've announced that the Fall of X is part of the end of the Krakoan Age, which will officially end in 2024. So the X-Men are getting their shit kicked in.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Jerry Duggan is going to be writing Fall of the House of X, which is going to involve Cyclops being on trial facing a death penalty.
For?
I don't know. Because people are racist and don't like him.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, no, not fair. The complete opposite of fair.
It's a kangaroo court of
There's nothing fair about that at all.
Oh, racism. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, racism. Like, I dig it.
And Kieran Gillen will be delivering Rise of the Power of X, which is going to be set 10 years in the future, with the X-Men trying to stop Nimrod and Omega Sentinel from putting their master plan into action. Because in a surprisingly poignant thing, considering this started like 5 years ago, it turns out the ultimate threat to both man and mutant is AI. Suck it, Gareth Edwards.
Yeah, fair.
Take that, the creator. Oh, and also, Al Ewing is going to be writing a spin-off miniseries tie-in, Resurrection of Magneto, which, if this leads to an Al Ewing Immortal Magneto, I'm about it.
Okay.
I am so about it. I'm here for it.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool.
He was only dead for like, what was it, a year and a half or something, 2 years? But, hey, you know, it's longer than Miss Marvel. What was that, a whole 6 weeks?
If that.
6 weeks, maybe? 6 weeks.
Didn't they just, like, reverse that just because of how pissed off people were?
Oh, no, I think they were already planning on doing that. They might have bumped it up because of how pissed off people were, but...
Fair enough.
Hey, speaking of Spider-Man, this wasn't really on the docket. This wasn't really on the docket, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Apparently, when they were talking about Spider-Man, I don't remember if he had his own panel or whatever, but when Spider-Man Editorial got up, the reception was frosty.
Really?
Yeah, Spidey and MJ's relationship got brought up at least twice, and it was ignored the first time. People kept asking for stuff that Editorial has no interest in doing at all. Just, people are kind of sick of their shit, which good. Good. I can't wait. I actually might have to get into recollecting single issues for this next thing I'm going to announce, because we now know what's going to be kicking off the new Ultimate Universe in 2024. Like, the new ongoing titles. Yes, it's your favorite thing ever.
What is going to be kicking it off?
Well, in, okay,
is that a new superhero?
No. On January 10th, we are getting Ultimate Spider-Man #1. Hickman's going to be writing that one, and he said it's a bit of a Peter B. Parker situation, implying that this is going to be an older Spider-Man.
Okay.
Which, I hope when he says Peter B. Parker, he means married with a kid. Because we already know from the Ultimate Invasion miniseries that Peter didn't get bit by the spider when he was a teenager, so it might be that now he gets bit, and now he has to juggle it all and be an adult, which I will, there's already variant covers, and I hate to do it, but like, if it gives the middle finger to Editorial and go, fuck you, I want married Spider-Man, I will buy the variants. I will buy 3 different covers of the same fucking comic.
I will happily support a story where Peter Parker isn't a miserable sack.
Not even a sad sack, just a sack.
Yeah.
A miserable egg sack. We're also getting Ultimate X-Men by Peach Momoko. I am not overly familiar with her work, but every time I hear her name mentioned, it is generally positive.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we only know one member of the Ultimate X-Men team so far, and it's Armor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's listed, in Japan, when a young student named Hisako Ichiki develops armor power, she discovers she's a mutant, and she's not the only one. Meet a new generation of mutants filled with original and familiar X-Men characters. Together, they'll learn what it means to be mutant in the Ultimate Universe as they explore their emerging powers, and the startling ways they connect to folklore, legend, and magic. Oh, are we getting mutants as cryptids? Is Wolverine Bigfoot?
Has Wolverine canonically been Bigfoot?
No.
Okay.
He's hairy enough, though.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is indeed. Do you think he uses product?
No. Yeah, all kinds of product. More product than you ever damn seen, but he pretends he doesn't. That's the part that I don't like about Wolverine. You know he's the kind of guy who uses product and pretends he is just, nah, I just rolled out of bed like this. Man, fuck off, Logan. Think you're better than me?
Ugh.
And this third one, I'm a little surprised by. It is Ultimate Black Panther.
Okay.
In the wake of Ultimate Invasion, Khonshu and Ra, the force known together as Moon Knight, are seeking to expand their brutal control of the continent of Africa. In response, the lone bulwark against them, the isolated nation of Wakanda, will send forth its champion, its king, the Black Panther.
Okay. Is this like Ultimate T'Challa, or do we not know for sure just yet?
We do not know yet.
Okay.
Pretty sick suit design, though. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna post this one real quick to you, because, this is good shit.
That's dope.
I like it.
That's pretty cool, yeah. Yeah, it's a really cool design.
Yeah, so the other two, Ultimate Black Panther and Ultimate X-Men, I might wait for the trades. But Ultimate Spider-Man, I feel like I kind of have to get it while it's coming out, because I like older Peter. I want Peter Parker to be able to grow up. You've got 3 other Spider-Men at this point who could... 2 other Spider-Man, but basically... You know what? Caine counts. You got 3 other Spider-Men who could fill different angles of the same thing you want from Peter. Let him move on. Why did you bring Miles over to the mainstream universe if not to have a hip young Spider-Man for the youths?
Because they were probably planning on the Ultimate Universe not being brought back. I know it's shit I did.
And because racism, probably. Anyways, that's the comic news.
Oh boy.
I'm decently excited. And I haven't said that about comics in a bit.
I was getting ready to say, it's like, I think that's the most excited you've been about comics in a hot minute.
Yeah. I'm a Spider-Man fan, which makes it really hard to like Spider-Man.
Uh, why can't they make me love the things that I love?
Right? Why is it so hard?
Me with Gran Turismo.
Relatable.
Mm.
So we're gonna go back to something from last week.
Okay.
This is not actively reported by one of the trades, so I was a little bit hesitant to include it, because as you know, I am no rumor monger. I am no conjurer of cheap trick. You got that, right?
No, it cut you out when you said, I am no conjurer, and then it would just stopped.
God fucking damn it!
Yeah, or at least you cut out your audio for that bit.
Well, now the joke's ruined, so I'm cutting it anyway.
Aw, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
But continue.
So, you know what? Because I'm not sure I'm ever going to get to it again, because that was actually kind of depressing. The joke was supposed to be me saying I am no conjurer of cheap trick, and then playing I Want You to Want Me by the band Cheap Trick.
I think that's good.
Thank you. I'm sure it would have been very funny if I was able to pull it off. Oh well. So, this comes from the Copyright Office, the U.S. Copyright Office, essentially. Marvel might have given us synopses and some release dates for projects that have been delayed.
Oh boy.
Yeah. These are only approximations, so these dates might not last.
Okay.
Agatha, House of Harkness, Coven of Chaos, Darkhold Diaries.
Insert fourth title change here.
Agatha Harkness, Witchcraft and Wizardry?
Agatha, the sequel to WandaVision.
Agatha, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Anyways, September 19th, 2024 is the approximate release date, so we still got a little under a month.
Okay.
I'm sorry, a little under a year.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, oh, damn, we got a TARDIS in here?
Yeah, I wish.
Mm.
The synopsis reads, in the first episode we see Agatha finally break out of a spell she has been trapped in. She can't wait to go back to her old murderous ways, only to find that she is powerless. The only way forward for her is to embark on a perilous quest to get her powers back with the help of an unlikely friend or two. I'm a little confused as to why we're supposed to root for Agatha.
Yeah, it's like, why do we want Agatha to win? I don't know about that, dog.
Don't get me wrong, I like Catherine Hahn a lot, and she's great as Agatha, but I'm not sure she's lead a series protagonist material. Not because of any problem with her acting or the character, it's the fact that the character is kind of fucking awful.
Yeah, the character is a smidge evil as fuck.
She killed a dog.
She also did terrible things to Wanda, but yeah, she did kill a dog, too.
Yeah, well, you know what? I consider doing terrible things to Wanda a public service, so I guess it all balances out. You kill a dog, but you also made life hell for Wanda, so... fuck. Well, honestly, Wanda's probably a net gain.
Alright.
She's always been fucking evil, is my point. Wanda has always sucked in these movies. She's always been a terrible person. God fucking damn it. That's enough of that. Allegedly, Spider-Man Freshman Year, aka Spider-Man Why Are We Making This, is coming out November 2nd, 2024.
Okay.
And its synopsis continues to confuse the fuck out of me. Because it says, Marvel Studios presents Spider-Man Freshman Year, in which Peter Parker's life while getting ready for his high school orientation is forever changed by events that send him on a journey like none before. In the first episode, we discover that the new era of Spider-Man begins here. I thought they were still making movies.
Wait. Well, is this canon with the movies?
Well, that's the fucked up part, because originally they said yes, and they implied this is like a prequel series that was going to be like the origin of Spidey in the MCU, which I was a little frustrated by because, part of the appeal of introducing him in Civil War was you could skip over all that because we don't need to see it again.
Right.
But then they were like, oh yeah, in this series, instead of Tony Stark, Norman Osborn shows up in Peter's apartment to, help him with his Spider-Manning, and it's just like, okay, so it's not. It's a new time, it's a what if. It's just a big, involved what if.
It's a big, fat, animated what if.
Which they all have been, but...
Yes.
I have a theory, and I don't know if I want this to be true or not, but I have a theory that when they cast that spell at the end of No Way Home that made everybody forget Peter Parker, it somehow fucked up his timeline, and this is what happened in there. And this is why he's not close to the Avengers anymore. Like, maybe it's him catching up on his new memories, or maybe it's, like, him seeing them somehow. I don't know. I would say I just work here, but that's a lie.
I mean, it'd be an interesting take on it. It would be the only thing that would kind of make the existence of this worthwhile.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, I don't know. I was already having a hard enough sell with this because I was curious, like, okay, this Spider-Man clearly didn't fight any supervillains before Homecoming. So, like, what could you possibly put in a series that makes it engaging? Like, maybe it's like a season-long Tombstone thing? I don't know. I guess we'll find out in November next year.
Right.
This next one, I'm gonna have more things to say about in just a minute, and it's gonna get sad.
Okay.
As an approximate release date, Daredevil Born Again has been pushed back to January 2025.
Oh boy.
And according to the synopsis, longtime rivals Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk try to leave behind their darker alter egos to serve the people of New York, only to have their pasts catch up to them. In the first episode of the series, we are reintroduced to the world of Daredevil.
Then that just defeats the purpose of the first sentence, then.
I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna come back to it in a second.
Okay.
The final listing found registered was for Ironheart, which is... You remember when this was supposed to come out, like, this fall? Yeah. And so was Blade?
Yes.
Well, keep dreaming. Ironheart is now set to come out September 3rd, 2025.
So, basically, it's near 6 difference 2 years from now.
Yeah, killing all momentum from debuting her in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Oh well. You actually made me like Ironheart, now you're gonna squander it, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Here's the synopsis. Marvel Studios presents Ironheart, in which charming teenage super genius Riri Williams returns from MIT to her hometown of Chicago in her iron suit and begins to unravel threads that bring danger and adventure right to her doorstep. The adventure begins in episode 101 as Riri is introduced to the audience.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm actually a little looking forward to this one now.
This sounds good. It sounds like, or at least it sounds interesting. It just sucks that it's not being released right now.
Yeah. When, you know, you still had some momentum going.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, it's time to talk more shit about Daredevil. Because, unfortunately, after this came out, it was also announced that, unfortunately, while the strikes have been going on, Marvel executives, including Kevin Feige, reviewed the footage that had already been shot and determined that the show wasn't working.
Okay.
So to that end, they let go of head writers Chris Ord and Matt Corman in late September and released the directors for the remainder of the season and are going to be doing a creative reboot, functionally. They are going to keep some scenes and episodes, but injecting other serialized elements and kind of overhauling what goes from there.
So they were, like, basically redoing what sounds like the overall tone and everything of the series, then.
Yeah, because apparently, according to sources from the Hollywood Reporter article that announced the creative reboot, Corman and Ord crafted a legal procedural that did not resemble the Netflix version known for its action and violence.
That's okay.
No.
That's fine.
Hold on. Cox didn't even show up in costume until the 4th episode.
Oh boy. Okay, that's probably not okay then.
Yeah, in an 18
yeah, that's pretty bad.
I know it's an 18-episode series, so you've got more time to play around with it, but why the fuck would I want to watch something called Daredevil Born Again, where an actor is reprising his role, presumably with at least some of the same continuity, or at least... because that's the implication when you bring in this actor. Until you say the previous show isn't canon, I'm going to assume the previous show is canon, at least to an extent.
Right.
So, why would I want this pre-established guy to show up and then watch him not be Daredevil for 4 episodes?
Fair. Yeah.
There are more rumors floating around about other stuff that was going on, but I'm not going to get into that because they're not substantiated by this article.
Because you are not a monger of lies.
No. I prefer to peddle truths. Oh, also, and this one cracks me up because it's being presented like oh, look, we're overhauling our process, we've learned from our mistakes, and not, oh, we have to do this because fucking it's part of our concessions to the writers. Marvel is, in fact, going to be hiring showrunners for their shows going forward, and they're also going to work on making pilots and show bibles, rather.
Yeah, guys, we're great. We're doing the things that other major TV productions have been doing for, like, How many decades has it been now?
No. I'll give them maybe a little tiny baby bit of leeway at first. And say that, trying to make these things like movies might not have been the worst idea to try out.
But they kept it going.
Yeah,
that's kind of where you lost
me.
They
kept it going after Falcon and Winter Soldier, and after Miss Marvel split itself in half, and if it... With Secret Invasion turning out how it turned out, that show needed a fucking pilot.
Right.
That show absolutely needed a Bible to keep it on track. Y'all motherfuckers need script Jesus. Oh, man. So, on the one hand, I am glad that they are taking this seriously and are apparently planning to align Daredevil more with what we have come to expect from it. On the other hand, god fucking damn it, I have to keep fucking waiting for goddamn Daredevil to come back. What the fuck?
Yeah, I can understand being annoyed at that.
They better keep John Bernthal.
Man, they better keep John Bernthal.
Better keep fucking John Bernthal. Yeah, apparently, Marvel was approaching their shows much like they were approaching the movies, which was, we'll fix it in post.
Which is not how that works.
Not with TV, it ain't!
TV is going to be, by default, a much longer format than a movie. So you either have less time to fix it in post because of the time taken up by the show, or there's more things to fix in post, which takes more time and costs more money in the long run.
Yeah.
That's stupid that they thought they could make it work like that.
Isn't it just? Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm gonna skip a little bit of the DC news.
Okay.
Because this is going on. And I'm gonna skip to more DC news. I'm not gonna get into a bunch of this, because a lot of this has to do with the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp trials, and I don't feel like touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I don't have it in me to even talk about that.
Yeah, no. So I'm gonna skip over all the Aqua drama, but...
That's a good name for it, though.
In the Variety article... Thank you. I'm pretty sure I made it up. In the Variety article detailing some new details about what went on the set of Aquaman, which we're not going to get into, there was a little nugget which said that none of the stars cast by Zack Snyder for 2016's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and 2017's Justice League, including Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, Ezra Miller, and Momoa, will reprise their roles in the new DC universe in character. Momoa may return, just not as Aquaman.
Yeah, as I say, of all of them, I feel like Jason Momoa would be the most likely to come back, so I'm kind of surprised he didn't make the cut.
Make him somebody else. The man was born to play Lobo. He'd be a much better Lobo than Aquaman.
The man is a natural born shyster.
Yeah, no, he'd be a great, especially after Fast 10.
Yeah.
God fucking damn it. Just imagine him driving around on a motorcycle going, "Oh, soups." Oh man, I love it. Anyways, obviously we knew Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill were coming back, but Gal Gadot and Ezra Miller are a little bit of a surprise.
I feel like...
Okay, Ezra shouldn't be a surprise, but with how insistent the director of The Flash was that, oh no, we're keeping Ezra.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And then the movie box office became a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, I look forward to seeing who the new Justice League is going to be.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to seeing what it looks like.
This next one is a little something. Miramax has won the bidding war for television rights to the Halloween franchise.
Is this good or is this bad?
Well, a lot of people are speculating that this could result in trying to launch basically a Halloween universe of some kind, which is a stupid fucking thing.
No, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah, I'm really not... like, a TV series seems like... What is that gonna be?
Yeah, I could see that working if it's an anthology series, in the sense of, like, having just different stories that are all based around Halloween, but different stories taking place with different people. So it's like the whole thing of, like, there's a common thread, but not everything is the same story throughout.
Well, but, like, all the Halloween movies have all been Michael Myers, so, like...
Yeah.
Except for 3, I think. I think 3... Because, like, they wanted to do an anthology, and then people got mad because no Michael Myers, so they were like, fine, here's all the Michael Myers you could possibly fucking want.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just drowning in this Michael Myers. I mean, if they ever want to try it again, I feel like a TV series would be the way to do it. Like, have it be where it's stories of people who weren't in direct contact with Michael Myers, so people who are alive,
Ha!
but were affected by things that happen in the continuity by proxy, if nothing else.
I feel like that'll get old quick, though.
Fair.
Anyways, the actual main reason I bring this up is that apparently one of the contenders, according to an insider with knowledge, for the television rights was A24, because apparently A24 is looking to expand into action movies and big IP projects.
You know what? I'm not completely surprised by this, because in all honesty, like during this writer's strike and SAG-AFTRA strikes, they've had a lot of movies like announced and trailers and all that like happen in those few months, I feel like. I wonder if it's a part of my brain is thinking that what it is someone probably went, we do not have or make enough money to keep this kind of momentum train going, so we need to do more things to stop so that we don't like fall completely off the rails.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed.
It is, yeah, I feel like it's a little disappointing because for me, it's financially and monetarily, it's a smart move. It's kind of the obvious move in all honesty, but the thing that made A24 so appealing is that it was kind of like the artsy-fartsy quality brother that is still relatively accessible.
Yeah, it's the shit that you didn't know you wanted until they announced it.
Yeah, and they also, their name with it being carried also had a lot of weight with it too, because if you see A24, then you know you're getting some really quality but really weird shit that is, generally speaking, still worth watching.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, if they take this same auteur-driven approach to action movies and big IP projects, that's fine. And in fact, that would actually be really nice, especially, like, if you could get them something relatively notable, but that doesn't have to be part of a bigger universe, so it doesn't have to be totally consistent with other stuff, you could get some really great stuff out of this.
Yeah.
But it's troubling.
Hold on, because I just thought of it as well. Did they do War Dogs? No, they did not do War Dogs. Never
Even
mind.
if they did, I wouldn't call War Dogs action-oriented.
I mean, fair.
I mean, there's explosions in it, but it's not really an action movie.
That's fair. I was thinking more of a kind of sense of, like, oddball action-adjacent movie.
Not that it matters, they didn't do it.
Yeah, fair.
And I guess the real thing is, like, if A24 can't make the auteur-driven indie movie scene work, then who can? And how long will it be before, like, if this works out for them and they start making more money with the big IP projects, is it only a matter of time before they start taking the same approach as all the other studios, where, yeah, maybe we'll make some here or there if somebody with enough clout comes along, but that's not where the money is.
I hope not.
And I can't really blame them for going that way, because, like,
it does make sense.
It's the movie business, not the movie funness.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So that's sad. Let's get into the writer's strike real quick.
Or is it just the actor strike now?
You're right, it is the actor strike. Jesus, I'm so used to saying writer's strike. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Pay your fucking
actors.
Anyway, talks broke down.
No surprises there, unfortunately.
I'm a little surprised and disappointed. Union negotiators said that they had negotiated in good faith with the studios, despite the fact that last week they presented an offer that was, shockingly, worth less than they proposed before the strike began. It is with profound disappointment that we report the industry CEOs have walked away from the bargaining table after refusing to counter our latest offer. The AMPTP is going, yeah, no, actually we offered this stuff, so it's kind of turning into they said.
Okay.
One of the main issues of contention is that SAG-AFTRA wanted a share of streaming revenue delivered as a bonus to cast members, totaling out to roughly like 2% or something.
Okay.
The AMPTP said the proposal would cost more than $800 million per year, which would create an untenable economic burden. SAG-AFTRA said as a counter that the AMPTP had overstated the cost by 60%.
As I say, like, I know Hollywood is big business, but that $800 million a year, that seems That seems a little optimistic.
Yeah, and also, I want to point out, a lot of studios are owned by bigger corporations that have plenty of other side hustles going on.
That also make, like, literally from those side hustles, hundreds of billions of dollars a year.
Yeah. Honestly, for a lot of those corporations, the movies are the side hustle.
Yeah.
So, just pay your fucking actors.
Yeah, just pay your fucking actors what they're worth.
Who knows? Maybe it is possible SAG-AFTRA is yanking them around for audience support, but you know what? I am gonna come down to the side that's not a big giant fucking corporation, thank you very much.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and if you want me to stop doing that, corporations, pay me.
Pay us.
Pay both of us, yes. I'm kidding, I wouldn't take it.
Yeah, same.
Well, I mean, if it shoot me like 6 digits and we'll talk. They won't.
Yeah, no.
Because they're cowards. They're afraid of our ever-growing reach.
They are afraid of our influence.
Yeah, they're afraid of our 70 subscriber-wide influence.
Hey! But thank you, 70 subscribers.
Yeah, thank you so much for
applause.
listening. And if you're listening and not subscribed, please do. And like your comment. It means a lot.
Yes. Indeed.
Oh, man. Let's go to trailer time.
Let's do trailer time.
It's trailer time again. We've got movie previews to watch. It's trailer time again. So you know what? Now that I've tentatively decided to cut what we were talking about before, let's talk the Werewolf by Night Now in Color trailer.
I'm
a little disappointed, I'll admit.
You know what? It's funny. I feel like, on one hand, because I remember I was talking about it when it was announced, I said I feel like that's not a good idea because it loses its character. But on the other hand, I was kind of looking forward to see what it looks like all colored out, and then I watched the trailer, I was like, no, I still feel like it loses a good bit of character.
Yeah,
there.
I was expecting it to be more vibrant. This just seems like, okay, we didn't put the black and white filter on it. Instead of, what I was hoping for was, they were gonna, digitally alter the colors and make them real vibrant and, almost, not quite neon, not quite pastel, but somewhere like that, where, Elsa's jacket would be, a really bright orange.
Right.
And just do stuff like that. Just really make it pop. And instead, it just looks like a regular Marvel movie with a grain filter over it.
Yeah, and the grain filter also makes the color, which I know this is kind of the job of the grain filter amongst other things, but it does make those colors a lot more muted than they already were.
Right, and it's they don't need the help being muted. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll still watch it because I'll take any fucking excuse to watch Werewolf by Night. I don't need a goddamn excuse. I'll watch Werewolf by Night anytime I goddamn please. I'll watch Werewolf by Night on Valentine's Day. I'll watch Werewolf by Night on 4th of July. I'll watch Werewolf by Night on goddamn Thanksgiving. It's you want any stuffing? I'm watching Werewolf by Night. Yes.
Man, that would be... I feel like that would be the ultimate thing if you actually did watch Werewolf by Night on Valentine's Day with a date, and she was like, yeah, let's watch it too. I would probably, drive my car into your house and be like, marry her, Cody!
No, you know
it's
what?
not gonna get any better than this!
You know what? If a hypothetical date of mine is not willing to watch Werewolf by Night on Valentine's Day, they're not the kind of person I want to associate with. It's literally less than an hour of your day.
Fair.
Anyways, yeah, no, Santa will come down the chimney, or through the front door, or however he gets in our house, and I will be sitting in front of the tree at 2 in the morning watching Werewolf by Night, and he'll be like, what do you... Shh.
It'd be like, do you want to watch with me?
either sit down and watch, or put the presents down and leave.
Yeah, for real.
Cookies are over there.
Cookies are over there.
Open invitation, Santa, if you want. We also got a trailer, and I hesitated to put this on here because I don't have Apple TV and I don't plan to get it. But Monarch Legacy of Monsters looks really damn good.
It does look really good.
That is how you do a movie quality TV show.
Yes.
I can't follow what's going on, which apparently this spans over a few generations, so that makes sense.
Right.
But I like the idea of following this organization that follows monsters. Oh, yeah, it's not about the Titans, it's about the people who are trying to, like, study and maybe not contain, but, like, minimize the damage by them.
Right. Yeah,
Also, Kurt Russell's in it!
Yeah, that caught me a little off guard, I'm not gonna lie.
I was not expecting Kurt Russell!
Yeah, no, that was cool. It was cool to see him. Just like, oh, you're here. That's actually pretty neat. Just unexpected, but still pretty neat. No, I thought it looked cool. The whole multi-generation thing makes sense. The vibe I got from it is that it's one person or one generation who's trying to investigate Monarch. And just, like, kind of their adventures and all the roadblocks they face and all that, too.
It wouldn't surprise me if we got some flashbacks, though, based on the summary.
Fair. Right.
Also, Godzilla's looking nice.
See, Godzilla looks cool. The scene with Godzilla coming out was very good and had a very good overall color palette to it as well.
I think I missed the first teaser for this because, again, Apple TV wasn't really planning on trying to watch it. But I didn't think he was going to show up.
Right.
I figured we'd get, like, not Zilla or something.
Not Zilla.
Yeah. Or, you know what Toho called the American Godzilla from the 1999 one? They called him Zilla because the god is gone.
Okay, fair.
I love it. What absolute shade.
Looking a bit more into this, Kurt Russell plays a character named Lee Shaw, but his son Wyatt is playing the younger version of him.
Oh, U.S. agent himself, huh?
Yeah, it's like, that's actually kind of neat.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Alright. Who knows? Maybe I'll get Apple TV or something. I don't know. I hesitate to say I'm gonna get a streaming service for just one show, but, like, if I was gonna, it'd be this.
Right.
I do like me some Godzilla movies. And then we got a second trailer for Wonka.
I am honestly surprised that you included this in here, because I remember how much you didn't care for the first one.
And I still hate Timothée Chalamet as Wonka, which is nothing against him as an actor, he's tremendous, but god fucking damn it, he's so unconvincing as Willy Wonka. And also I think this whole concept is inane and depraved. But, I'll admit, Hugh Grant's kind of selling me on it.
Oh, really?
Yes. Between Hugh Grant and the chocolate cartel talking about, like, anybody can afford his chocolates, even the poor. He doesn't like it when anyone says poor. But no, Hugh Grant as the Oompa Loompa is, like, the only reason I want to see this definitively. Right. Just for, especially the bit at the end where, alright, something is clearly on your mind. Tell me what it is right now, or I shall start poking you with this cocktail stick.
See, what I was thinking with that bit is that it was a thing of, like, okay, I feel like this is a bit where everything about this sucked up until that last bit, where he just like, okay, tell me what's going on or I will actually kill you. Like, Hugh Grant, that rascally bastard, I will watch it for Hugh Grant. And I will hate every goddamn second of it where he's not on screen. Right. And
probably some points where he is on screen. It's just, why? Why do we need a Wonka prequel? And why does Timothée Chalamet feel like he's doing a kid show host version of Willy Wonka? Yeah,
that's kind of weird, because I'm seeing it, it's just like, this is really colorful and all, but Willy Wonka does actually kind of get a bit dark at times.
Yeah, Wonka is dark and sardonic, and only, like, kind of occasionally cheerful and whimsical. Like, it's whimsy, but it's dark whimsy. It's kind of fucked up whimsy.
It's darksy.
I'm patenting this term. It's kind of fucked up whimsy. So, I guess we'll see in December how this goes.
Fair. Right.
And then, this one I just added tonight, because I didn't realize it was out until now. But, we got a teaser for Hazbin Hotel.
Yes, we did.
Coming to Prime Video, January 2024.
Yeah, and it's a freaking Disney sing-along musical parody with just the most depraved shit going on in the background, and it's pretty great.
And the foreground.
And the foreground, too.
Alright, just please don't sing at them. Ah, that bitch is halfway down the street. Is she dancing? Oh, yeah, she's dancing.
Oh, God, that was pretty great.
No, it's a good song.
Yeah, and it's just like, why does this feel like a... And then just the scenes of hell being hell start growing. It's like, alright, that's right, I'm remembering why this is so good the first time.
I'm glad to see that the animation style still seems consistent.
Yeah.
It's maybe a little less frenetic, a little less... It's a little more fluid, which is to be expected with a higher budget, but I also feel like a lot of that, like, occasional snap was part of the charm.
Right.
But no, this looks good. I am sad to say, apparently, all the voice actors were replaced from the pilot.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, we now have Erica Henningsen as Charlie, Stephanie Beatriz as Vaggie, Alex Brightman as Sir Pentious, Keith David as Husk. Which, okay, I'm disappointed by the loss of everybody, but Keith David as Husk goes a long way.
Yeah, that does a lot more to bring me back in, I'm gonna be honest.
Kimiko Glenn as Nifty, Blake Roman as Angel Dust, and I'm not familiar with a lot of these actors. Obviously, I know Stephanie Beatriz, known for Brooklyn Nine-Nine and also being Mirabel Madrigal in Encanto.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say Angel Dust kind of sounded like a downgrade.
Fair.
Michael Kovac did a great job in the pilot, and it's a real shame that they couldn't keep him on for this one.
Right.
Even Alistair has been replaced with Amir Talai, who, just knowing that they didn't get Ed Bosco had me very sad, but apparently a video has been circulating of the new voice actor singing You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile as part of a production of Annie.
Huh.
And it was spot on. Like, if he keeps that inflection for Alistair's in good hands. So, I'm a little sad.
Right.
But I'm also happy to be getting more of this because it does still feel very much like what we saw in the pilot.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the same tone, the same very depraved and very fucked up tone.
Yeah. Wonka-esque.
Like, yeah, complete unhinged Wonka-ness.
R-rated Wonka-esque.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's like if Willy Wonka went on a violent, murderous bender and then ended up in hell because of it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Looking forward to this in January. I needed that.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm glad to have updates, even if it does sting a little bit that they replaced everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it also makes them, you think you could buy me the Wicked some cheap booze? Well, you can call back nice.
Yeah, right.
What, you think you could buy me the Wicked some Keith David? Well, you can!
Because you can. You can with both of us.
Let's go to box office.
Alrighty.
I don't think you're going to be surprised to hear what took the number one spot this weekend.
Is it Taylor Swift?
It is, in fact, Taylor Swift.
Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the movie theater industry is alive and thriving. Cinema might be in a little trouble.
Yeah!
And I don't mean that as a dig against Taylor Swift, because I have nothing against her, or her music, or her fans.
Mm-hmm.
Just that I feel like that's not a movie.
No, it's not a movie.
That's just a taping of a concert being shown in a movie theater. Maybe it's a little bit different. Maybe they mix it up and do some behind the scenes stuff, but it doesn't feel like a movie.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe I'll watch it at some point and I'll have a profound, life-changing realization, but I doubt it.
Oh, so it'll be like my experience with Ace Combat then.
Oh boy. So it took in $92.8 million domestically this weekend, and in total for a $123.5 million worldwide total. And I suspect it will probably keep kicking ass for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's fucking huge.
You think that's big? Wait till you hear how far behind second place is.
Alrighty.
Second place is The Exorcist Believer at $10.9 million domestically.
Man, that CNBC article was right.
Yep. $44.9 million domestic total and $85.2 million worldwide, but that is against a $30 million budget, so...
Okay, so it has started making a profit then.
Yeah, it's doing pretty alright, and will probably continue to be pretty alright, which is a damn shame, but I'll get into that a little bit in a moment.
Fair.
Third place, it is Paw Patrol the Mighty Movie.
Okay.
$6.8 million domestic weekend, $49.7 million domestic total, and $126.2 million worldwide against a $30 million budget. We already knew that was making a shit ton.
Right.
At least compared to budget.
Right, yeah.
Also doing well, Saw 10. $5.6 million domestic weekend, $41.4 million domestic total, and $71.3 million worldwide against a $13 million budget.
Oof. Yeah, they're definitely rolling in it.
Yep. Which means probably more Saw movies still. I can't really judge because I didn't see this one, but I have seen 4 of them, and I feel like that's enough to judge when I say I don't necessarily want more of these.
Yeah, fair.
And in 5th place, The Creator. $4.3 million domestic weekend, $32.4 million domestic total, and $79.4 million worldwide. I guess an $80 million budget, so it's going to at least make its production budget back. Marketing remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But I feel like this movie wasn't super heavily marketed anyway, so maybe it'll... Who knows? Home sales will probably help. I doubt it's making a profit in theaters.
Right.
So... we didn't actually see a movie this weekend that was in theaters.
Yeah.
But before we get into what we did instead, I'm going to talk real quick. I'm not going to do a big summary like I did last week before all my audio got eaten up because my laptop decided it no longer wanted to work. I saw When Evil Lurks and The Exorcist Believer last weekend. When Evil Lurks being a 2023 Argentine horror film. And The Exorcist Believer being, well, it's the 6th Exorcist movie. This one directed by David Gordon Green of Halloween, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Finally Comes to a Slow, Painful End trilogy.
Fame.
Thank you. And, okay, when it comes to horror, I came to a couple realizations last week when we were talking about it. One is that when it comes to horror movies in particular, I am a very lenient grader on the pass-fail scale, but I do not hand out A's very often.
Right.
When Evil Lurks is an A.
Okay.
It is a it's sort of a demonic possession movie. It's set in a world where these beings called Rotten exist, where people are possessed by unborn demons, and all kinds of bad things happen, and there's rules you have to follow on how to deal with them. But the cleaner, which is what they're not called exorcists anymore because religion has sort of been abandoned, but they're called cleaners, and the cleaner that was supposed to show up is dead. And the brothers try to deal with it themselves with the help of a neighbor. Things go wrong, and they keep trying to fix it. And you know what? It's a gruesome, uncomfortable fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is very visceral and unpleasant, but it leaves that sinking in your gut feeling pretty much the whole time. And there's a very prominent theme of maybe it's the world that's rotten. Maybe it's just everything sucks, and no matter what you do to fix it, it's all just gonna get worse. And I don't mean to say that from like a disheartening perspective. It just seems to be what the movie's kind of going for. And yet somehow it kind of resonates.
So you think that's this movie's allegory, like how a lot of horror movies will usually be referencing something else, like how Talk to Me is about drug abuse and all that. It's just the world is bad for this one.
Yeah, the world is bad, we made it get that way, and on an individual level, we're not going to fix it. I don't know if there is a way to fix it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, no, this was, like I said, very uncomfortable. I cannot stress that enough. Some very violent actions happen in this movie. So to that end, if you're squeamish, I would not recommend seeing it. But otherwise, 100% recommend. Like I said, a movie. I had a really good time. I feel like this is another revelation I had talking about it with you last week. I feel like the mark of a really good horror movie is, or at least a really like, what was the differentiator I had? A really great, profound horror movie. I don't want to say profound, but the difference between a really good horror movie and a really good popcorn horror movie,
right,
is that a really good horror movie should make you hesitant to watch it again.
Yeah.
Like Hereditary.
Yeah, like for me, Hereditary, where it's the thing of like, this is genuinely a very good movie, but I have zero desire to watch it a second time.
Honestly, you know what? Nope. Similar thing. I'll watch it again at some point, but there are scenes in that where it's like, No, I don't think I will.
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
I don't want that.
Yeah, no, that's the real thing. Like, and I don't want to discount like slashers or anything like that because those can still be good. But I feel like you're more likely to put on a slasher over and over again, or even, like, a bad horror movie, like, I don't know, The Bye-Bye Man.
Fair.
Whereas, when it's a really good one, that sense of horror and dread kind of sticks with you, and it makes you hesitant to put it back on, because you have to be in the mood.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at with this one, and it doesn't seem like it's doing too well. Box office currently 363,000 apparently, which I don't know what the budget is, but that's not great.
No, it is not.
No. Oh, I could see the subtitles this time. Thank God.
That was worth the price of admission alone.
Yeah, I mean, I have Regal Unlimited, so I didn't have to pay for it at all, but if I had to pay for price of admission, it would have been worth the price of admission. Just to be able to read those goddamn subtitles this time, unlike it lives inside.
Right.
Oh, man. Anyways, The Exorcist Believer, it kind of fucking sucks.
Right.
It is, like I said, I'm a very lenient pass-fail horror grader. This is a pass, but if When Evil Lurks is an A, this is a C-D+. This is... It feels like it's going for the same kind of slow burn as The Exorcist, but because it's splitting itself between two families, and also because this is now the 6th Exorcist movie, the slow burn doesn't really work that well.
Yeah, no.
Where you just kind of want them to drop the ambiguity and kind of just get to the whole point of it.
Yeah, it's just like, no, please get on with it. Just, I know we talked about it, but I'm glad both of our predicted tropes did not plan out.
Yeah, no, we were wrong on both counts of what was expected.
Thank God.
They brought back Ellen Burstyn as Chris McNeil, the mother of Bridget Regan from the first one, and she's barely in it. She's just... It's not like in Halloween when they brought back Laurie Strode and she's built up to be a central thing. Chris McNeil's just kind of there to, like, remind you that this is an Exorcist movie, that this isn't just a demonic possession movie, that, oh no, this is an Exorcist movie. Yeah,
it's like, we're special, we have her.
And she just kind of fucks off for the third act and then gets an emotional conclusion at the end, which kind of ruins the... This movie, for a movie that already had 2 sequels pre-approved, it was in a really big hurry to wrap everything up at the end.
Right.
So I don't understand what the fucking point of these 2 sequels is gonna be. And considering that this is the same director who did the Halloween trilogy that just wrapped up last year, I'm inclined to think it's all downhill from here. So if this movie was already mediocre, the 2 sequels are gonna be god-awful.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
devil awful.
Devil.
God played a trick on you indeed.
Indeed.
There's also... God, it's infuriating. There's a weird mishmash of religious techniques to do exorcisms in this movie, and it's never dwelled on what that means.
Yeah, like, no one ever goes, it's like, hey, we have all these religious things, and none of them are working. Should we probably, like, examine that?
They go, by your powers combined, I'm Captain Religion. And they never examine the implications of that. Is the fucked up part. Where it's like, okay, so one aspect in certain settings that I find fascinating is in Stephen King's Salem's Lot, for example. It's brought up, I think it was in Salem's Lot, it might have been something else, in certain vampire fictions, it doesn't have to be a crucifix that repels vampires. In certain settings, any symbol of faith will do, so long as you actually believe in it.
Okay.
Where functionally it is the power of your belief in the thing that gives it power, and not the religion behind it.
Right.
And I feel like that's what's going on here, but nobody ever stops and, like, thinks about that. And also, what does that mean when it's against... If Catholicism is not necessarily the be-all, end-all of exorcisms, where do demons come from? What does that mean? What is their origin point? If other religions are equally effective at combating them?
Maybe the demons come from I have been bested by religion support group.
Huh.
And they're just like, alright guys, we had a great meeting, let's all go kick some fucking asses or something.
I don't know. Yeah, this is not great. I mean, like I said, it's not... I won't say don't go see it, but there's better things to see. And not just when evil lurks. I mean, you could just stay home and watch a better horror movie.
Yeah. Like Friday the 13th.
Oh, I was going to say like the original Exorcist, but excellent transition. No.
Okay, I was going to say, it's like I was a little hesitant with that transition.
No, I liked it. Well done. The awkward hesitance just made it also work.
Fair.
So, the interesting thing here is, because there wasn't really anything that came out other than Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, which, again, nothing against it, just not really a movie and not really something I'm qualified to talk about because I don't listen to Taylor Swift music or have an opinion on her one way or the other.
Right.
And also because, like, you hear some of the stories about people freaking out in the theaters, like, stomping along to this, and it's just like, I don't need that experience.
Yeah, that just sounds miserable.
Right? Like, it would be... And then people are trying to equate it to people cheering when Cap picked up Thor's hammer. It's like, no, that's different.
That was literally an edge case. Like,
also, there's a difference between cheering at one particular moment in a movie and getting up and dancing around because a song that you like is being played.
Thinks back to the old couple who started jamming to No Vaseline when I went to see Straight Out of Compton in theater. It's my favorite movie experience ever. It's like the scene in the No Vaseline where Ice Cube puts out his diss track against NWA, and freaking I look down and there is the only white couple in this theater, by the way, a old elderly white couple just jamming out to No Vaseline when I see it, like, y'all are my favorites.
Nice.
You are my favorite people right now.
So, with it being the week of Friday the 13th, we decided to watch the original Friday the 13th, directed by Sean Cunningham, and starring Betsy Palmer, Adrian King, Harry Crosby, Laurie Bartram, Mark Nelson, Janine Taylor, Robbie Morgan, and Kevin Bacon.
Oh, that's right, he is in this.
Kevin Bacon was Jack. The one who... I think Jack was the one who... I assume we don't care about spoiler discussion or not, because this is a...
No, not
This is
enough.
a 43-year-old movie, so you know what? If you don't want to get spoiled on our thoughts on Friday the 13th, this 43-year-old movie, click away in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, Jack.
I think Jack's the one who got stabbed through the bed.
That was the coldest shit.
I was very uncomfortable.
I don't want to say I love that, but I felt like that was the most creative kill in the movie.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, it's just like, hold him by his head, stab him through the bottom of the neck, and all that. I was just like, oh, that's some cold shit. That is ice cold.
To be fair, a lot of the kills are off-screen.
Yeah, no, that's I think that's like one of two that you actually see. Because I want to say, I kind of count the girl getting the axe in the head as being on screen.
Yeah.
Because even though we don't see the axe actually make impact with her head. Okay, actually one of three. We see very much the gory aftermath. Because there's that, and also Pamela Voorhees, because this is the beginning of Jason, getting her head chopped off.
It's not even the beginning of Jason, really. I mean, it's interesting how, for as much as Jason has become the face of Friday the 13th as the franchise, this movie, there are points where I just totally forgot what I was watching.
You know what? That's fair.
Because, full disclosure, until this week, I had never seen Friday the 13th.
Oh, I thought you had.
No, I'd never seen it before.
Oh, I thought you had, and you wanted to rewatch it just to talk more about it in depth.
No, I watched it twice this weekend because the first time I was only kind of paying attention. But, no, it's a blind spot in my horror movie trifecta, because I've seen the original Halloween and I've seen the original Nightmare on Elm Street, but I've never seen Friday the 13th. And at a lot of points, unlike Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween, this feels so disconnected from what it would become, in the sense of, obviously Jason's not the killer, it's his mother, which, you know, I'd say spoilers, but also the original Scream spoiled that one. So,
right.
10 years later. So, good fucking luck. But, no, it's interesting because it feels radically different.
Right.
It was really funny because there was a point when Betsy Palmer shows up and introduces herself as Mrs. Voorhees, I was like, oh shit, that's right! That's what this is!
You know what? Honestly, when she mentioned her son drowning, it's like, yeah, my son, Jason. It's like, oh shit, that's right. That is what this is. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, you just kind of gotta remind yourself, because it's just so far removed from what we associate with the Friday the 13th franchise. But it's not bad.
Oh, yeah, no.
Honestly, the kills are pretty creative.
The kills are pretty creative.
By which I mean the framing is creative. It's interesting that you don't see a lot of them. Yeah.
The movie does a good job of, keeping tension in a lot of places and kind of reaffirming. With Jack's kill in particular, that was an interesting one, not just because of how cold it was, because I also realized after he had died, it's like, wow, that was the first time in in a decent amount of time with this movie where I actually got comfortable, because right before he's killed, it is just a long shot of him in the bed, just lighting a cigarette, just chilling out. And then all of a sudden you see the hand come up, he looks shocked, and you see the arrow come through his neck. So it's like, whoo! And it's like, fuck, that's right, this is that kind of movie.
Although, it's also a little cheesy, because... Okay, so Mrs. Voorhees is the killer in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But, how did she manage to do stuff like that?
Yeah, that was kind of a thing I was thinking, was wait, but how did you do all of this? How do you have the exact same Jeep as the camp counselor? How did you manage killing, half of these people, in all honesty, without them really realizing who you are? Or at least, I don't know. I'm assuming at some point she was, either masked up or in some kind of disguise.
Which makes it even weirder that, because you assume that part of the reason they don't show much of the kills is A, to preserve the mystery and the reveal that it's Mrs. Voorhees.
Mm-hmm.
And also so you don't think so much about, wait, how is a little old lady doing this?
Yeah.
But you still have the question.
Right.
Well, I should say a little old, because she's not that old.
No, not at all.
But considering the counselor she's up against, you'd think, they'd have a much better shot. Even the first kill's a little weird, where, Annie jumps out of the car, which isn't moving all that fast.
Yeah.
And she lands on her head? She tucks into a roll, but then she's running like she injured her leg.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was a little... eh?
I shouldn't judge too hard, it's an 80s slasher movie.
Yeah, literally, as in, fresh 80s. This movie came out in 1980.
This is borderline 70s.
Yeah. Oh god, what else was there? So, I'm not gonna lie, I laughed a little bit during, the final showdown between Alice and Pamela, especially during the bit where they're in, the office with, the guns and all that, and they just start slapping each other, and I couldn't help but think of Edna in Incredibles, being you
Pull
are
yourself
Alice.
Together.
You are Alice. Pull yourself together! I caught myself doing the thing, the annoying thing of, people saying is no, do this thing during a horror movie?
Yep.
I caught myself doing that, again, during that last bit, especially when Alice is just trying to escape from Pamela, and I'm alright, now steal her fucking Jeep, and she goes to the Jeep and finds more bodies in it and starts freaking out. I was like, no, you should still steal that fucking Jeep.
Jeep anyway.
If anything, just toss their body out of, open the passenger door and toss their body out, but yeah, you should still take the damn Jeep. It runs. So yeah, I started catching myself, and also doing the whole thing of, trying to predict, when people would get murdered.
Mm.
Partially because I feel like the movie very much telegraphed whose time it was next every time.
Oh yeah, most of them were pretty well telegraphed.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda's was pretty awful, in terms of setup.
Oh, Christ. Which one?
She's the one who got lured out in the rain by the little boy saying help. And we don't see how she dies, just, the spotlights and shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that was... Yeah, that was a horrible one, because that's one of those ones where it's It's one thing if you have, like, a really gory scene, or at least show the end of the really gory scene. It's something else, and I imagine especially if you're a creative person, where the movie's like, we're just gonna leave it up to your imagination.
Until she comes flying to the window as a corpse.
Yeah, which was also, man, it's unfortunate because
how did they do that? How did
Yeah.
Pamela do that?
Yeah, it's also a thing of, like, that was kind of terrifying, but it was more silly than terrifying. So it was one of those ones where it's just like, okay, that one I can't take as seriously, unfortunately.
I'll agree.
Still keeping the trope alive of people having sex at summer camp.
I feel like this is probably one of the originators?
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be shocked.
Certainly for slasher movies.
Right. Talking about the whole thing of, like, whoever's time is sex being telegraphed, when Ned sees someone in that house, and it's like, hello! It's like, why are you going to the house? And I'm like, can I help you? It's like, yeah, you can get the fuck off my stoop.
I thought that was just one of the cabins.
Was it one of the cabins?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I thought it was, like, somebody's house who was just next to the campsite.
No, I'm pretty sure... I don't think anybody's house would be next to the campsite.
Oh, okay. Okay, then that makes more sense, because I thought it was a thing where he just, like, saw a person, was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go on this person's property. He's like, yeah, then you kind of deserve to die.
You know what, I know it's 80s sensibilities, but I'm also gonna say I'm glad Ned's dead.
Oh, how so?
Between that one arrow bit, and the, pretending to be drowning in order to make out with somebody.
Oh.
Not cool, man.
No.
Especially not the arrow one. That is some terrible bow discipline.
Yes. Was he the one that also did, like, the whole American Indian thing when the cop showed up?
Yeah. That was also him, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? In all honesty, like, when I think I talked to you about this a little bit. When I first, like, watched this movie for the first half, I was like, yeah, I wasn't expecting to have a "that's racist" moment in this movie.
Yep. It's an 80s slasher, you should have.
Fair.
You should have known. Obvious. I had a good time with this.
Yeah, no, I had a good time. I'll be honest, it was kind of cool doing this, because it was nice to have a different change of pace of just sitting at home and watching a movie and talking about it than scrambling to go to the theater.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe if we get more slow weekends, we'll do this again at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Or if they start spacing out the releases more because the actors are still on strike.
Yeah.
That was part of why I wanted to do this, was as testing the pivot strategy, and I think it's working decently well.
Yeah. To that end as well, if you haven't seen Friday the 13th, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is an institution for horror.
I mean, we didn't see it.
They don't need to think about that.
You literally just admitted it like 10 minutes ago. I'm not aiming to be that phony.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah, no, this is genuinely a good time.
Now it's time to go watch a bunch of the sequels.
Yeah, you know what, I'm not sure if I have that. Man, that's just the silliest shit. I don't know if I have that in me.
Oh, I don't blame you. I'm not sure I do either. In any case, thanks so much for listening, everybody. If you haven't in the middle when we asked, please like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever you want to do. You don't have to do any of it. We do have It Came From Under the Bridge, Under the Hood Edition, on October 29th at Unlimited Video Games at 8 p.m. And
Yes,
we're going to be back-to-backing 2 car-themed horror movies to coincide with the trunk or treat going on that same evening. The movies are being kept secret, but it will be a engine-revving good time.
It'll be... I lost my car pun.
Oh.
Aww.
You want to hit the brakes? Shift into high gear, man.
No... Are you proud of yourself?
Now I'm getting a little tired of this.
So next week...
Next week we've got 2 options, it looks like. One of which is Killers of the Flower Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be the easy one, despite being 3 hours long. But also Butcher's Crossing is apparently out that same weekend.
When does the Five Nights at Freddy movie come out again?
That is the week after.
Okay.
So yeah. I guess we'll see what happens there. In the meantime, this has been Under the Bridge with Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And with Greg, aka Greg.
And we'll catch you guys next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye!